Hi, this is Fiona Horne from Deaf Effects, and you're listening to Collision on Voice FM.
Hi, Fiona. It's Kat.
Hey, Kat, how are you?
I'm good. How you actually sound American almost, you know.
No, I don't say that. No way. But I have lived over here for bloody 16 years, but whatever.
No, you sound more Australian now. That's okay. But so, well, can I start by asking what is it you're up to over in America these days, or for the last 16 years?
Oh, God. Well, a lot of different things. Where I am right now is I'm in the Caribbean. I'm on an island called St. Thomas. I work as a pilot, and there's a lot of stuff that's gone on between now and when I first kind of headed over to America to live in 2001. A lot of different things. I don't even know how to answer it.
So what, you fly planes?
Yeah, I'm a commercial pilot. I have been working in aviation now for a few years. I worked as a marketing manager and charter sales executive for a company in the Caribbean, private charter company, and then I worked 4 jobs. I did that. I taught yoga and I fire danced and also did readings, tarot readings and counselling, which I've done for like a quarter of a century. Saved up every cent and put myself through additional flight school last year so that I could take my private certificate from just private single engine to commercial multi-engine and single engine and obviously instrument. So I work in the charter industry as a pilot flying. Today I flew a man, his dog, 2 cats, and his son from St. Thomas to Puerto Rico. And I've also, this year, my goal in working in aviation was to have the skills to donate my flying skills and I guess network to humanitarian aid efforts. So I've also flown 2 aid relief missions this year to Haiti, which were very successful. So I'm really happy to be able to be doing that as well as, having a job working in aviation.
You've just double blown my mind. Is there anything like that you have ever thought you wanted to do and not done, or do you just, if you want to do something, you just do it, you make it happen?
Well, it's funny because sometimes I think, like when I look back at this aviation journey, it's so different to anything I've ever done before, and the skill set required, the way you use your brain in this mechanistic way, it's so different to the creative way I've used my brain as a singer and a songwriter and an author. But I think if I'd known how difficult it was going to be, I never would have embarked upon it. Sometimes it helps to not know what you can't do. And I think we're talking about the Deaf Effects tour coming up. I also have a book. My autobiography is going to be released. I talk about this in the book. It's like I've failed at way more things than I've ever succeeded at in life. But I'm really, 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 really good at one thing, and I'll give myself this. I'm really, really good at not giving up. And I think I just keep plugging away and somehow it all happens,
Yeah, obviously, because you said you didn't know how hard it was going to be with the pilot thing, but you didn't give up. You just kept going.
Yeah, and there were so many times, and I write about it in the book, but there was things like I still just sometimes go, my God, and even now, like working, there's setbacks, hold-ups, and what I really like about aviation is it's very mechanistic. The plane doesn't know whether a woman or a man's flying it. The industry is what it is, and I've been around it enough now to know. I've learned how to, when I think of how explosive and reactive all the energy is on stage, in Deaf Effects and being lead singer, and in aviation, doing this is for a living, you've really got to rein yourself in, pull your head in.
Yeah, no,
and
there you go.
Be very methodical. It's very there's a ton of ego in aviation. It's a lot of sky gods, and I'm like major minority in the industry. But I work with great people. They've given me a wonderful opportunity, and I just, again, like I said, the plane doesn't know whether a man or a woman's flying it. You just do your job, operate the machine, provide good service, be safe, and and consistent and on time.
Yeah.
And as far as we're talking about just doing stuff, I think what I would hope if people were looking at my life and thinking that there was something interesting or even inspiring about it, I'd want to say I've got no special talents or gifts specifically. I just, like I said earlier, sometimes just don't know what I can't do, and I don't give up. And that doesn't mean things have been easy by any means. The book talks a bit about just how difficult things have been and how hard the challenges that have happened, and I keep all that off social media. But it really, in life, I don't think you need to be defined by the things that are difficult. You can be defined by what you do in the face of difficulty. And that's where I think I've really learned to get better at living. I'm not so much growing older, but growing better at living.
Yeah, that's good. In your autobiography is The Naked Witch.
So it's in Naked, yes. Bearing of the Soul. The book's called The Naked Witch. It's called The Naked Witch, yeah. And it's more like naked in a sense, you know, it was going to be called 50 Does Not Suck. That was the original title, 50 Doesn't Suck. And then The Naked Witch came about because it was, you know, bearing your soul. And then in witchcraft, you know, being naked, being sky-clad, pure and perfect and clad by the sky. If God meant us to be naked, we would have been born that way. That essence of not having a mask or anything to hide behind, the little bearing of the soul. So in writing the book, I just was driven by this, because the whole way the book came into my life, I didn't go out looking for it. It came to me. I really thought maybe I should just honour this opportunity and write this book, but I wasn't intending to write a book ever again. Just wanted to be a pilot in the Caribbean and fly my aid missions and just have a quiet, simple life. And this all kind of came at me, and I decided that the universe wanted me to do this, and it would be amiss of me to walk away from this opportunity. So I ended up writing this book, and you know, I just hope that people find it useful and entertaining.
Can I ask
about everything?
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, I'm glad I'm glad the universe did get you doing stuff like this again, because we don't want you to just fade away. And I'm thinking this is only part one of your autobiography. There has to be a part two coming in the future.
The first half, probably, yeah.
Now I'm looking at your website, FionaHorne.com, and it does say here that you're not only a commercial pilot, but you've done skydiving and scuba diving. And what's freediving?
Freediving is going to depths on a single breath of air. So I love it. I just started freediving the last year and a half, and I've scuba dived for a really long time. And what I love about freediving is that there's no bubbles, there's no tank. It's very pure. It's really it's very spiritual. It's when you go deep, and you know, like, I mean, when my dives now, I did 81 feet. That was a little while ago. I've been diving. I start my dives at like 25 and build up, like I said, like 80. I'm just building my skills. My goal is this year to go to 100 feet on a single breath and to spend 2 minutes in the ocean holding my breath. Whereas, I mean, how do I say this if someone doesn't freedive? Freediving is like, it's a very peaceful thing to do. And when you go into the ocean on a single breath, there's a sense of returning to the womb, I think, it comes over you. You go into this mammalian reflex where your heart rate slows. And you just, it is kind of an altered state of consciousness. And it's very, very beautiful and very pure. And I am not, you know, a thrill seeker. I don't want to, like, do anything that's going to be dangerous. I follow good safety procedures as I always dive with a buddy. But I really love freediving. It's just so beautiful, and it's amazing when you're not breathing bubbles like in scuba, and you're not having a whole lot of regulators and things flapping off you. It's just really still. The fish come right up to you, like they look at you like, what are you? And they're just fascinated by you. And you kind of have these moments of connecting with fish in a way. It's almost like they have personalities. It's quite amazing.
Awesome. I'm actually just looking at this summary on your thing and going back to the spirituality and witchcraft and that. You've got all the elements covered. We'll call FFX Earth. You've got the water, the air, the fire. You've got it all.
Yes, the fire with fire dancing. I know. I wonder, sometimes I think of the things I've been drawn to do, and they are definitely elemental in their expression. You know, I feel like there's a balance of exploring the four sacred elements and the fifth being spirit, you know. I'm really... when I look at life in general, I seem to experience things based on, you know, that kind of, how would I say this? It's like I don't go doing things because I'm thinking of money or I'm thinking of fame or kudos or anything like that. Maybe when I was younger, I felt that I had to do that. That was kind of what was expected. But now I'm just really, I live in honestly, it's a constant state of gratitude, and just, even when things are really difficult and shitty, I'm still grateful and, still loving it, and, you know, doing these amazing things that are just, how would I say it? Like just the feeling you get is lovely. And then I think even what's more rewarding is, you know, when you can share that with others. So really, my efforts now are defined by, you know, are they useful? You know, am I able to sort of contribute something rather than what am I getting out of it? You know?
Yeah. Well, I could be very jealous of your current lifestyle, only I won't be because I know that you've put a lot of effort in to earn this.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that because that really is the case. And I certainly wrote about that a bit in the book too. That, I mean, sometimes I have to pinch myself and go, wow, this is all happening. But there's a couple of things guiding principles that I know if I am open to all potential and I don't micromanage my life and I stay out of my own way. But what I do absolutely unequivocally is I'm sober. So my sobriety is everything. And then a sense of a spiritual sense of existence. Like my sobriety is a spiritual choice. It's not just about not drinking and not drugging. It's a spiritual discipline or expression. And just being, that sense of gratitude and living in the solution of things, because everything can happen and great things and bad things and all sorts of things can happen. It's not really the stuff that's happening that carries the most relevance, I think. It's what you do with it. And certainly in this journey of life, I've said it a few times, but I guess, I treat my life not like I'm growing older, but I'm getting better at living. And that means I don't have to be defined by society's idea of what age is or what a number is, or, can't tell you how many times I've been told, oh, you won't be able to do that, or your body's not going to do that, or you're too old, or you're this, either. And I just think, fuck you all, I'm going to do it anyway. I do. Maybe it's the anarchist in me just going, fuck you all, I'm going to do it anyway, because why not?
Why not? And you're just even talking to you is so inspirational. Can I ask, though, like when you were with Def FX and you were, a band who was pretty well known by the young people in the country and witchcraft wasn't a big thing in Australia at the time. What was it like coming out as a witch?
No, you're right.
And like you actually made a career of that.
Coming out of the broom, coming out of the broom closet, it's an interesting point you raised, because you're right, it wasn't popularised, and I definitely was part of the wave that put it on, the front line and made it normal now. Like, who doesn't know a witch now? Like back then it was like, oh, now everyone knows a witch, everyone knows a Wiccan. It's like, it was, the interesting thing for that period was I had the red carpet rollout as coming out of the broom closet in Australia, because I already had quite a high public profile, and I was given the opportunity to talk about things and given a forum. When I moved to America in 2001, there was more of a backlash and a perception of things being that it was some kind of attention-seeking thing, or that I was seeking to, make a living out of something that was intrinsically spiritual. But I think in the end, witchcraft was something very personal and private part of my life for a long time. I mean, I wrote about it a little bit in song lyrics, but it was something that I spent over a decade kind of forging within myself, and then it became part of my job. And, all of a sudden I'm like combining my skills as an entertainer and public personality with this concept of witchcraft. And then I took it back, and then I just left everything and just stepped away from the public eye. And I'm still a witch, and, more than ever now.
Have you ever been to Salem?
Oh, yes, of course. So two of my dearest friends, Christian Day and Brian Kane, crowned me Queen of the Witches up there at a huge witches festival. So I've been to Salem. I actually appear, I don't do a lot of public appearances. I haven't for a long time, but I do appear at Hexfest, which is an international witches convention that happens in New Orleans every year, and this is the third Hexfest this year I'm appearing at. And Brian and Christian run it, and it's a wonderful event that brings the occult community together in New Orleans for an amazing weekend. So that'll be happening. I do the book tour, and then I actually go straight to New Orleans and do Hexfest. Then I come back to the island and fly people around for the holidays, because we're going into season. It'll get really busy. All the wealthy people come to the Caribbean in our version of winter, at the end of the year. So I'll be working really hard, flying people around and putting together the next aid mission where we're going to go back to Haiti, the village. We've basically, there's like the foundation that I work with, when we took in all the renewable protein sources, like the 350 laying chicks, the feeder bunnies, all the stuff we took in earlier this year. When we go back, we're going to be replenishing anything that's needed, taking extra building materials in, and tools are really hard to get. Good tools are hard to get in Haiti. So allowing the village to continue the rebuild since it got nailed by the hurricane last year. And basically, what we're doing is the foundation provides 540 family meals and 270 school lunches every day. And, in an environment where, we took over an agronomist and seeds, good hardy seeds, not just genetically modified seeds, but good seeds are good for the Caribbean to rebuild the gardens and grow food, and as well as provide these laying chicks to lay eggs. They're not hens to eat, they're hens to lay eggs. So, it's just being able to go back to the village and see the work and see how it's growing. And, the school has been rebuilt, the kids are back in school, they're eating their lunches, and it's all that sort of stuff I really love doing. So I'll be getting back to help with that as well.
It sounds like you're just an amazing and inspirational person. I'm sure, I wish I had a couple of hours to actually do this interview, but I don't. And I'm
I guess maybe do something.
Yeah, you are an amazingly wonderful person, and I can't wait to read your bio when it comes out on the 1st of July.
Yeah, 1st of July it'll be on the shelves.
You are Fiona Horne
and
official.
And my website, FionaHorne.com, is, if you go to FionaHorne.com, all the links to all the social media are there.
Yeah. It has been really amazing talking to you, and I hope you have a good sleep tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me, Kat. I loved it.
Thank you so, so much for your time.
Thank you, Kat. I'll see you in a couple of months.
Definitely. Bye.
Okay. Bye.